everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So it's time for those 1 minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read in the last week with 1 minute synopsises for each book. But before we get started with that, I'm sure Mandy has stuff to tell you guys.
Yes, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are doing our Amazon gift away, and that is closes on the 23rd. So you just have like very little time,
Very little time
to fill that form out down below. The winner will be announced in our Christmas video, which hopefully you guys like. I will have a funny story for that video.
It's very, oh yeah, you will. And nothing says Christmas spirit like that video. So, okay.
I don't know if I totally agree with that, but okay.
Hey, it's a gift for someone. All right. Anyhow, what else do you have?
Speaking of gifts, I have to show you an early present I got.
Okay.
Did you see it? Can you see my wiener dog earrings now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was opening it and the person told me you are going to love it. And I'm opening it and I could feel what it was. And I was like, oh, I do love a good bamboo cutting board, but I'm not sure, like, I'm a little confused. And then I unwrapped it. Are you ready?
I'm very eager. Oh my gosh. You can't cut on that.
I know. It's gonna go, like, I'm gonna hang it or put it. I had it sitting on my bookshelf, so it might just stay there. I absolutely love it.
Oh, speaking of, side note, Mandy sent out her Christmas cards.
Full identity.
It really is. Mandy sent out her Christmas cards. Now, we all know that Noelle shows up on the videos all the time. Do you know who made the Christmas card and who didn't? I'm so telling Noelle. Mr. Goose in all his glory was on the Christmas card.
I think Noelle made my calendar, though. I really hope so. I'm going to have to tape some photos of her on it. My other son will not let me live that down.
No. So, all right. Well,
I would just like to say that it's a lot harder to get a cat to cooperate for photos than it is a dog.
I'm pretty sure I've seen plenty of photos of that cat on your Facebook this year. So I don't know that I'm buying that one. I'm on Noelle's side here.
Well, yesterday we had a really exciting dinner of fish sticks. And I actually took the time to peel off like the deep fried, the crust stuff, to give her the fish, and she just stared at it. So I tried.
Processed fish.
Yeah,
she was probably like, this isn't the fresh stuff, lady.
Probably.
Yeah. So with our cat that we had in Alaska that she passed away when the kids were, my middle one was 1 year. She was 1 year old or close to a year old. I used to let her lick my tuna fish can after I made tuna fish. That's the only way I could get her to like me. I swear that cat tried to kill me in my sleep on multiple occasions because my husband had her before I came along. So it was his ex-girlfriend's cat that he got in the breakup. Anyhow, hey, so he got the cat.
Why would he keep the cat if it was
she was going to rehome it, and he firmly believes that when you adopt an animal that you have committed to that animal for life, for the life of that animal, and so he doesn't do that.
No, I agree with that. So I was just curious, like, if it was hers, why did he get it? But that makes sense.
Because she wasn't going to keep it. So.
I am the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about books. How was your reading week?
It was pretty decent. I read hopefully less than you.
Well,
I read 8 books.
Dang it. I read 9. So, so I will be going first. Good. Does that make you happy?
It does.
Okay. Well, okay.
Still waiting on some book journals, but yes.
Hey, but you're the one that messaged me this week and said, you're so stressed out. How can I help? And then where's my book journals? It stresses me out more.
I took on a lot of responsibilities. So you had time to do the book journals.
You did. I haven't had time to think. But it is on my list for weekend stuff. So hopefully I'll do it today.
You better.
I'm going to try. It's only Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. But you also told me you were going to do it last week, and then you told me you would do it on Friday. So
a little
My
crazy
faith
right
is
now.
dwindling in
It's
getting
a little
new
crazy.
book
We're
journal.
gonna have a overstock.
kidding.
What are we calling it? We're calling it an end of the year closeout. Like we're gonna add more things to our overstock, and I've been having to count a lot of books. No, like grade them, not just count them. So, anyhow, keep an eye out for that on Cover to Cover. Okay, so let's talk about my first book.
Please.
Okay, so this first book is the third book in a trilogy, and it was 3 years in the making. I've only waited about 1.5 years or so for this book, but it's been 3 years since the second book came out, and I know a lot of people were very upset with this author because it's been 3 years they've been waiting for the conclusion of the story. So this is Chained Fate by Anna Zaris. This is the third book in the Molotov Betrothal trilogy. Because it's the third book, I can't tell you a ton about it, but what I will tell you is that it is Mafia. It follows Alina and Alexei. So Alina finds out when she's young, she is a part of the Bratva. And she finds out that her father has her betrothed her to Alexei as a child. Like as children, they were betrothed. He's older than her. And he basically stalks her. Once she turns a certain age, he starts making sure that she doesn't get into trouble. She doesn't run into, people that could hurt her. She's not making choices that are gonna, mess up her life. Like he's doing it for her own good, honestly. Let's just be honest. And then one day she doesn't know about the betrothal. She just hates this guy. And then one day she finds out she's going to have to marry him, and she's going to have to marry him soon. And that's pretty much what the book is about. So for 3 books, we see her fight that and run from him and whatever. So this is the conclusion to her story. I enjoyed it. I gave it a solid 4 stars, and I could pick it up right where I left off, and I didn't have to worry. It was easy for me to pick it up. Now, 3 years, I might be worried that I couldn't pick right back up, but this one I did. So.
Okay.
Okay.
So my first book, we probably don't need to switch over for. It was Moonshine by Kat Bostic, and I read it for our convincing series where you guys convinced us to read some of your favorite books that you read in 2025. We had a lot of fun with that, so go check that video out. I think I'll just leave it at that. It's post-apocalyptic, and you can go get lots of good recs from that.
Lots of good recs from that, yes,
video.
Exactly. Yeah.
From you guys, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, so as you noticed by looking at my Goodreads this week, there was a lot of dragon books. So I'm just forewarning everybody. Well, we're going to see Ruby Dixon in March. And I made the comment when we were talking about series that we wanted to finish? Is that where I mentioned it? But the Fire Blood Dragon series is a series that I have not finished. And it came up during that time. I don't think I had it on the list. It just came up in conversation. And so I picked up where I left off in the Fire Blood Dragon series with Fire in His Spirit. This is book number 5 in that series. I do feel like you should at least read the first couple in order, but there is an overarching theme. So maybe you should read them all in order. I don't know, but I would anyway. So this is about Gwen and Vaughn. Gwen is the mayor of the fort that I think it's Fort Dallas, I think is where she's at. But she's the mayor of this fort. She's the reluctant mayor. Basically, she was put in charge because nobody else would do it. And she makes a lot of mistakes. We see a huge mistake in the book before this, and she's paying for it now at the beginning of her book. At this time, so for those who haven't read these books, there's a rift that opened up between our world and this world where the dragon guys come from, and it caused the apocalypse basically. So the world has gone to pot. It was like 7 years ago. And so these big dragons have come through, and they've lost their mind when they come through the rift because they can't switch back to their human form unless they connect with their mate. So Gwen sees that there's this big dragon threatening their fort. She goes out outside the fort, and the dragon immediately takes a liking to her because he realizes that's his mate. And then she decides to lead him away from the fort to keep everybody safe. And then that's just where things go from there. So I gave it 4 stars. This one isn't my favorite in the series at all, but it was still 4 stars. I still enjoyed it. They're great fun listens. So I can work and be mindless while I listen to them, and that is what's important about them. But they're fun. What are you doing?
I forgot I had a book on my shelf for this video that I forgot, and I went to go get it, and then I got all tangled up in my blanket.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. Okay.
My feet are cold.
My feet are cold too. I don't have socks on this morning. I normally have socks on. So
I have fuzzy socks.
I don't have any.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next book I read is actually from the Convincing series as well, but I didn't report on it in it because I hadn't read it yet when we filmed. But there were several books in that video that I wanted to read. So I read Tenure by Violet Pierce. Okay, so this is about Kiernan. She is a high schooler. She's like, I think she's a senior. Her parents are in Paris for something that her family is doing. So she's home alone, and she's completing high school, and she is brilliant in math. And so she is taking an advanced math class at the college. And that professor is James. And James is one of those, oh, I never set my timer, so sorry. James is one of those arrogant professors who really likes to intimidate the crap out of his students. So most of them drop. So he only has like the very serious ones. And he tries to do that to her. And she actually ends up confronting him about a mistake in the textbook that he co-wrote. And so from then on, he is very infatuated with her, knows he's crossing lines, and is extremely freaked out and frustrated when he finds out she is still in high school. But
Understandably so.
yes, I enjoyed this one a lot. I rated it 4 stars. I am all about age gap and like that taboo forbiddenness.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the next book I read is one that we picked up, or I picked up when we were in Vegas, at Love in Vegas, and this is Played by the Bishop by Samantha Barrett. This is the first book that I've ever read of hers. Do you remember her? She was the one that I was having. She was the hot mess. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed my talk with her, but I don't know if she took my shot. She drank the shot that I had, so just give you guys, she was having a good time. Anyhow, this is a mafia romance. This one, that's not very long. None of her books are very long. I listened to the audio. This is about Kiara and Bishop. So Kiara, her mom worked for the Dawn of the Mafia. And so she grew up in that household, and she fled about 3 years ago, and now she's on scholarship. She got a scholarship to college, and so she's at this college, and lo and behold, her roommate is the daughter to the Mafia Don. Now, she always had a crush on Bishop, who is the oldest brother and who has now taken over the Mafia. The friend goes missing, the roommate at college goes missing, and when that happens, Bishop comes in, swoops in, takes her, and basically says, you're going to marry me, and you have answers that I seek. And there's a lot of things that we find out later in the book that cause it. And I say later, but it's only about 200 pages, so it's not that long. So this is the first book in the Murdoch family series, so it does start off a series. All the guys are named after chess pieces. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It is very fast paced. There's a lot of plot holes in it. I did enjoy it. Like, I did enjoy the listen, was real quick, and I was into it. But honestly, if I'd have been in a like worse mood, then I would have been like, she needed to flesh it out more. But I did enjoy it for what it was, and it was quick, fun. You just got to take it for what it is. I mean, it's only 200 pages. So, but I did like it. So, there you go. Okay.
Well, my next read was actually a listen, and that was for book club, which we just held. So you can go watch that if you want to catch the replay on that, if you weren't able to join us for book club. And that is Born for Marble by Nikki Harris. I'll be pretty quick on this since we've talked about this one quite a bit since it's for book club. So in this, we have Tuscany. Tuscany was born to be the queen, basically, and starting at age 10, pretty horrific things are done to her to make her like marble as this perfect queen. And Kong is like her bodyguard. He refers to himself as her guardian, but basically he's the bodyguard for her. As she gets older, she decides and kind of takes her place as queen. She decides that she wants to go out and meet her people. And so they take her out to go meet the people, and all hell is going to break loose. And Kong and her are not going to be able to fight their feelings much longer, which creates a whole another problem because she is supposed to be untouched for her life, basically.
Yeah.
It's a wild dystopian. Is it? She writes it. She says it's dystopian, but it's also like fantasy. It's labeled as both. It is very different, but I've really enjoyed this series. I gave
think
it 5
most
stars.
Yeah, I did too. I think most dystopians are considered fantasy. It's a dystopian fantasy because it
I
is a
don't really
fantasy
know.
world.
And then
So
romantasy has been like a real big buzzword with books too. So
totally.
basically any fantasy that has any sort of romance in it is a romantasy too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Well, I continued on with Ruby Dixon's Fireblood series. Fireblood Dragon series. I read book number 6 next. This is Fire in His Veins, and this one's slightly different. I was kind of excited for this one and the few following because they kind of change a little bit now. So in this one, we have Andrea and Liam. Andrea is best friends to the heroine from the book before this. And she's got a thing with Liam. So Liam is this guy that lives in the fort, and he looks a little different. And we've figured out at this point that he is a dragon shifter. And he has been disguising himself for the last 7 years so he can live as a human. So he keeps his hair short. He wears, glasses and whatever to hide his eyes and all that good stuff. So when he came through the rift, he realized real quick that because the dragons talk telepathically to one another, that he had to shut that off because that in his brain is what was causing everybody to go insane. So he has shut that off. So that communication isn't there. The ability to find his fated mate isn't there now, but he likes Andrea and he misses that mind link and that connection. So he's not able to shift or anything. And he hasn't done it for 7 years. So he's been like really missing that. And now he's got this thing with Andrea, but he can't tell if she is his fated mate or not, even though he thinks that she could be, because if he shifts into his dragon form or he opens that up, he will go insane like all the other dragons. So 4 stars, loved it. It was good.
okay.
Okay.
Well, speaking of dragons,
Please.
my next couple is cold and could use some dragon. I don't know how to transition from the stuff you read to the stuff I read.
You just do it. You just go with it.
So I read Baby It's Cold Outside
Okay.
by Melanie Harlow and Corinne Michaels. If you didn't know, they do have a few books that they have co-written together. And so in this one, it is a very short holiday novella. We have Harlow and Michael. Harlow is like, she's been dumped. Well, she actually caught her boyfriend cheating. And she is trying to get into the Christmas spirit. So she bought a live tree. She has no idea what she's doing, and she can't get the tree in through the door at her apartment. So it is stuck like in the lobby apartment way, like it's stuck in the lobby doors. And Michael shows up and agrees to help her. Well, it's not that he agrees to help her. He kind of has to help her if he wants to leave the lobby. But then he decides to continue to help her because he's seen her around and he's attracted to her. So he helps her get the tree into the elevator up to her apartment. And then they go out and buy all the things that they need to get the tree trimmed properly. And in the meantime, he is blowing off his sister and their family holiday party. And it's just a really like cute, fairly low angst holiday novella. The writing is great. I rated it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a quick holiday novella before Christmas, that one might be for you.
I have 2 I plan to read this week before Christmas if I get downtime.
Ooh, okay.
One of them is from The Last Writers.
Oh, yes.
By Jamie Bakley. Because nothing says Christmas like that.
A Sex Club.
Well, it's a Tree Point Christmas is what it's called. So I don't know that it has a lot to do with the MC. We'll see, because she has other series in that world that are not the MC boinking everybody. So we'll see. Okay. Speaking of boinking
series.
I love it. Speaking of boinking, let's talk about my next book. So at the end,
Boinking the Dragon.
No, this one isn't the dragon. At the end of Played by the Bishop, it sets up the next book. And I really like when it set it up, I was like, oh, I need to read that. So we're going to talk about this one, even though the last one was like a little bit of a letdown, but I still enjoyed it. It must be her writing. There was just something about it that just sucked me in and I didn't want to stop. So I picked up Tormented by the King by Samantha Barrett. This again is only 200 pages. It is not very long. It's a very quick listen on Audible. So this is about Allison and King. So at the end of the first book, the epilogue, we see this book set up. So King had a girlfriend who got pregnant. He did not know this. It was like 4 years ago or so. She got pregnant. She died somehow. We know that he, at the end of the book, he goes to visit her grave. He finds out that she has died and that she had his child, and he does not know where his kid is. And so this book starts out with Allison. She is the sister to the girlfriend who died, and she is raising their child, as her own, basically. And not, the kid doesn't call her mama. I can't remember if it's a boy or a girl. But the kid doesn't call her mama. He calls her by her name. But she's working as a waitress, barely making ends meet, when King shows up and says, "Give me my effing kid." And it all just goes downhill from there. Yes, I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy this one more. This one still had that fast pace, I think we're leaving a few things out kind of feel to it, but I really liked it.
Are you going to keep going in the series?
I think so. There's a part of me that's like, dude, are you a glutton for punishment? Because it does feel like things are, but I think these were like her first books. And so I felt like King got a little bit better than Bishop. And so I will continue on. That girl, she had a line, a very long line. So either her other books have gotten, they must get fleshed out eventually.
So in December 2026, when we're doing series we need to finish, we should see this one on it.
No, I actually plan to read it this week because, and I think this one.
I was teasing you.
I know. Tormented by the King was a free download through Audible. So the second book was free. Whether that's because I had Audible membership or not, but I don't know. But I didn't pay for that one at all, in any way, shape, or form. I didn't have to use a credit. It was free, so it might be free to download right now. Go do it.
Okay, are we pausing the video while I go do that?
You can do it when I talk about my next one. So, okay. What you got next?
Okay. Well, my next one is the last book for the Hot and Bothered book club for the December. I guess it started in November. It's the Christmas themed one. And I always really enjoy doing this. So this book is called Mountain Man's Christmas Surprise, and it's by Lisa J. Cole, which is a new to me author. And this is about Emmeline and Tate. They were best friends in high school, and Tate's family moves away and she never hears from him again. They were together as well, and she was pregnant and he moved away. So he's gone and she never hears from him again. So there's not a lot she can do about that, I suppose. And now it's 7 years later. She's raising their daughter on her own, and he shows up at the door with a pretty lame excuse by why he never contacted her, but has thought about her for the past 7 years. So it's a pretty quick novella. Usually I'm all down for insta love and novellas and like the faster pace and that things aren't going to be really worked out finally. I just didn't really, it was really hard for me to buy why Tate just ghosted her basically for 7 years. His excuses just didn't seem very put together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I rated it 3 stars. I liked it. It just wasn't,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next book I have is still in the, I went right back to the Ruby Dixon's Fire Blood Dragon series.
Look at you.
I know. This
I'm
one's
proud
even.
of you.
Thank you for finishing a series. I didn't finish it though. Prepare for that next week. This one is, and I know why I stopped at number 4 when I was reading them originally, like back in 2020. It's because there wasn't audio past number 4, and now I think she's finished all the audio in them. So, because these are fun just to listen to while you're doing mundane things like wrapping Christmas presents. Okay, so this one is book 7. This is Fire in Her Eyes, and this one's even more different than any of the ones that came before it because the dragon is our heroine in this one. So this is Tiva and Gabe's story. Tiva has been circling Gabe. So we've met Gabe in the book prior. He is a medic, or he was a medic in the past world, and he takes care of some of these elderly gentlemen. And there's something that happens in the book prior to this one where the dragon before Gabe has to give him some of his blood in order to survive. And so because of this, Gabe has that kind of mind link, like he can tell when dragons are around. No other female, so the red dragons are the female dragons. No other female dragon has shifted and found a mate in this world because female dragons have to be challenged by the male dragon, and it's a thing. Like, no human is going to challenge a dragon in order to mate with her, because that makes no sense at all. You're just going to get eaten. But Gabe knows what she needs. Like, Gabe knows all this stuff because he has this mind link. So this is his and Tiva's story. It was very, very interesting seeing the heroine be the dragon this time around. There is a funny scene where she wants to see his whole body after they do it for the first time, and so she takes his clothes off. These books all take place in Texas. So it's the middle of the day out in the sun. He's white as a ghost, and she has taken all of his clothes off, and he wakes up and his junk and everything is burned. It's great. It's hilarious because he's like, I can't use it. I'm sorry, you broke it.
Mm-hmm. So there's just dragons hanging out in Texas?
Yes, all over the world. They've ruined the world. They've taken over. There's gold and there's red. The red are the women. It's post-apocalyptic.
I can't, you know what? Even with you.
Awesome. What are you going to do when we go to meet Ruby? And I'm like, yeah, she makes fun of me for reading all your books.
I'll be like, would you mind signing mine?
Exactly. So, okay. What do you have next?
I'm just curious if we would have started this channel back in 2020 when you were first reading, if you would openly talk about this as much, because you've told me you used to rate these books lower when you first started reading because you're embarrassed.
I also had friends on my Goodreads account that were like friends, like family friends growing up, known them my whole life, and I was afraid they were going to go to my parents and be like, do you know what your daughter's reading? And then I was like, dude, I am 40 years old. I don't care. And if you don't like it, you ain't got to read it. But I had to get to that point. I enjoy these books. You can't take them seriously. They're fun.
I know. I'm just saying.
And so
your face.
I know. I had to get past that. So, and I think a lot of people do. I think people rate them low because they're like, do I like this? Should I be liking this? Isn't this, Yes, enjoy it. If you enjoy it, read it. It ain't hurt nobody.
I've read a couple of her books and they are good.
She's a good writer.
It's still really fucking funny, okay?
It's hilarious. I love it. I also loved it when you messaged me and you're like, so we're going to see Ruby. What book of hers do I get? And I'm like, where do we start? So, because you've already read 2 in the Ice Planet Barbarians, the first 2.
Yes.
So I was like, go get the 3rd or the 4th. The 4th is my favorite.
I know. So I think I ended up putting book 3 and 4 on my wish list.
The one for your husband? I made a separate wish list for my husband versus the one that I have on here.
Oh, really?
I didn't want him choosing.
My husband cleaned it out.
Mine did too, I think.
Because somebody texted me and was like, you don't have any books on your wish list. And
well, when I go to look at my kids' wish list for Christmas, because we're all in the same thing, mine's completely, there's nothing, it shows nothing in the, no pictures, no nothing there. So I know he cleaned it out. And that's part of the reason why I made a separate wish list for him, because I knew he would try to clear out whatever was in there. And I only wanted him spending a certain amount of money, and I didn't want it to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And so I made it this exact amount. I think I told him 150 because I had shoes and a couple other things. I was like, this is my wish list. Do not spend more than $150. And everything in there added up to $150 because I knew what he would do. So that's how
I think I might have more than that coming.
No, we were conservative. We've got a wedding we got to pay for this spring. So summer. Yeah.
Well, I hope you've given your daughter the dates that you're not available.
I know, right? So I told her, y'all need to figure this out. Like, you need to, because they still have to meet with the priest for a couple things.
That would be awkward if you're like, I can't be there. I'm going to be in Minneapolis.
I'm going to have to give her our calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. Okay, next book. Okay, I read a book. I just talked about this book because it was for our MC Book Recs, which just came out. And so I read it 2 days before that we did that book rec video. So if you've heard about this one and you're wondering why I'm just talking about it, that's why. Okay, so this is Reaper by Calla Riley. This is part of the Lotus MC series. This is book number 1. I believe there are 5 books out in the series now. I own all 4, bought the series, ready to go because we met them and the books just sounded so good and I'm like, I need a good MC to read. And this is a good MC. So we have Natalie. Natalie is in a very young, she's only 19. She's in a very abusive relationship. And one day she just realizes that if this continues, he is going to end up killing her and she has to go. So she grabs some cash that she knows is hidden in the condo and leaves. And she flees, runs to the street, gets in a cab and leaves and begs the cab driver to take her to the Lotus MC. And he's like, no. And she's like, no, you have to take me there. So he drops her off out in the middle of nowhere and is like, keep walking down this road. You're about a half a mile there or something like that. So she is battered pretty bad from the latest abusive round with her boyfriend at the time, I guess you'd say. And so she hobbles, limps, takes herself there. My time's already up. And asks for Kingston because she has heard her boyfriend on the phone. And he is the only person that she's seen him be fearful of. And so she's hopeful that he will help her. He is the president of the MC. He comes to the gates. She's using his government name, so he's already a little suspicious about what's going on, but he decides to take her in and try and figure out like what she might know. Is she a plant? But they also have a problem in their MC because there is a rat in the MC who's leaking some information and they're trying to figure that out as well. And so there's a lot happening in this MC, and it is definitely the nitty gritty MC, and I cannot wait to read the next book.
And you gave it?
I gave it a solid 4 stars.
Okay. So when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I have one. I thought it was the spinoff, but no, it's right here and it's Reaper. So I have that book. So I'll be reading that one.
So you bought Reaper and I bought all 4 of them?
Yeah, because we went over there towards the end and they gave you a deal on all 4 of them, which a lot of authors do when you get to the end of these events. They just want to get them off their tables. And I just stuck with the one because I didn't know if I was going to like their writing, but knowing that you liked this book makes me go, dang it, I should have bought some of their Mafia.
Yeah, I thought when you said that you bought one, I could have sworn that you got it in the different series too.
I thought so too, but no, it's because they have 2 MC series. Nope. It's just Reaper. He's right there looking at me. Okay. Well, the next book that I read is another one that was from our convincing series where you guys convinced us. I made the mistake at the end because I panicked and I looked down at my paper and I said the wrong book, which was Breaking Haley. But I really wanted to read Breaking Haley. And so I listened to it this week. So this is by IA Dice. I almost said AI. IA Dice. And this is obviously about Haley because we're going to break her and Carter. So this is a duet. I didn't get to book 2 yet. I'm hoping this week. I've got a couple book 2s I have to finish this coming week. But this is a Mafia, but it's also Amnesia, which is right up our alley here. So Haley has been in a car accident and she is just waking up from the trauma that she sustained from this accident. And she realizes that she cannot remember the last 2 years of her life. Like her mom passed away about 2 years ago and she doesn't remember. So her dad, who is a cop, I can't remember if he was the chief or whatever, but he's higher up in the police force. He is devastated that she can't remember that her mom has passed away, so she has to grieve and do all this stuff again. Then we have Carter, who is a part of the Mafia, and he is being tasked to something traumatic happens at the beginning of the book for him, and he needs to get revenge for the Mafia. And this person that he is trying to get revenge on is associated with Haley, and so he actually has to get to Haley because that person's no longer with us and she was a part of the whole situation, and so they have to find out what she knows. So Haley's dad knows that something isn't right, so he puts her into a private college and with all of these stipulations and rules to keep her safe. She has no clue what's going on because they can't tell her because it could traumatize her brain and the whole thing, right? Like, don't tell them what they're missing. Carter goes in, basically in disguise. He's 27 years old, and he goes in to be an older student so that he can get close to Haley to get information. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really like this. I'm like, this is setting up to be a really good duet. So this was great. I really enjoyed it. I want to read the second half this week. So between this and the K.M. Moranova book that I have to read the second half of, hopefully I can do those this week, or at least listen to them. So,
Okay.
Okay.
While preparing book journals. So all of us have a book journal to record in January.
I know, with a new cover.
I'm very excited. I love the cover.
I love the cover too. But it's buried. I can't show you.
Okay.
It's buried under a stack of books here on the floor. So I have to fix the interior. That's what we're doing. Okay.
So my next book is the one that we're doing for our buddy read in January, and I got the ALC for it, so I'm going to talk about it. If you're going to do the buddy read and you don't want to know, well, I guess I'm not going to give any spoilers away, so never mind. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
No,
so
it's all good.
We really hope that you will join us for our buddy read on our channel in January. We don't have the exact date, but that will be coming soon, so keep an eye on our socials. We'll also post on YouTube as when that is going to be as well. So This is Cursed King by Julie Saman, and this is her series called Once Upon Ever After, and it's going to be they are not standalones. You have to read in order, and it's a retelling series. So this Cursed King ends on a cliffhanger. Then you'll get Cursed Queen is coming out in January, so not too much of a time lapse there. And then the rest of them, I believe, are there won't be cliffhangers. So we have Bellamy and Sebastian. So Bellamy is taking care of her father who has dementia. He is in a home, but she is responsible for like paying his bills there, and she's really, really struggling to keep up on everything. And one day she gets a call that her father has wandered out of the facility. They can't find him, and then they locate him at the palace. Somehow he has managed to breach the palace and is inside the palace. So she goes there, and King Sebastian is where she's at. He's the king. Oh my God, I'm going awry here really badly. I'm sorry. I love the book so much, and I'm like fumbling over my words. So she goes there to try and get her dad back, and in the meantime, she ends up breaking a pretty priceless statue. These two little girls come up to her, and they are really taken by her. And then she ends up getting taken to the king, who is furious about this whole entire situation. The girls are like begging for her to become their new nanny because their mom was killed, and he believes that there's a curse. So they have not left the palace in the past 3 years. They stay on the grounds at all times because he believes that there's this curse in the family. And so to repay her debt and not have anything, no charges against her father, he agrees that he will drop this stuff if she will be the nanny, and he will provide room and board and a salary for her. And she's kind of in a pickle, so she agrees to take this on. It ends on like such a devastating cliffhanger that I don't even know how to like go on. So she is writing, this is Jay Saman. She is writing under Julie because this is a little bit more of a darker feel than what she's used to. I would say for people who read quite a bit, this would have more of a romantic suspense feel to it than with a little bit of darker elements, but I wouldn't necessarily classify this as dark romance. If you've only read her contemporary, then this might feel more dark, but dark is very subjective, but there aren't a lot of, it's more romantic suspense feel with the darker elements, if that makes sense. So I absolutely loved it. It's 5 stars. I cannot wait for the next book. I got the ALC. It's done by Sean Masters and Desiree Ketchum, and they did a phenomenal job. And this comes out on the 27th. So definitely grab this one.
Do we know when book 2 is coming?
It is coming in January. I know what date I'm getting the ALC. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's towards the end of January, so it's not super long.
Okay. Just curious for those who want to do it. Because a lot of people don't like to wait. I will if the book's worth it, but then I'm going to have to do a reread because then I'll forget.
Yeah,
Like
it's only
everything.
going to be a few weeks, so.
Yeah, that's good. I love that she's doing that. Okay, so the next book that I read was a reread. I had to do a reread for reasons. This is the third book in a trilogy. So we'll just talk about it a little bit. So this is Queen of the Lost Boys by T.S. Kinley. So like I said, this is the third book. You have to start. So this is her Neverland Chronicles. It is a Peter Pan continuation is what they call it, because Peter and his lost boys did grow up, and now they have Gwen, who is a daughter of Wendy, so she's a descendant of Wendy who has been brought to Neverland. In the first book we saw her sister is dying of cancer, and she forgot about her sister because the longer you're in Neverland, the longer you're there, you start to forget your past life. And so she finally remembered that her sister was dying and needed her, and she went back. Well, now she's back in Neverland and they're fighting the big bad. So this is the culmination of the story. We do see her sister, and we see the start of her sister spinoff, which I read earlier this year, and oh my gosh, that was amazing. I can't wait for that, the second half of that one. But in this one, we see that Gwen has made a deal with somebody she probably shouldn't have to try to help Peter. And now that deal, like it's there's these black spider webs going up her arm. Like, it is going to kill her if she doesn't return this sacred piece to this person that she has to return it to. There's also a war starting, and there's a lot of action in this book. You start out from the get-go, there's a lot happening, and I just loved it, but I had to do a reread of it. So, because those are things I have to do. So yeah, still 5 stars. I listened to the audio this time. It's great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, next I got an arc for Pine for Me by Swathi M.H. This comes out on the 26th. This is the third book in Haircuts and Heartthrobs. I would recommend that you start at the beginning because I think you'll get a much better experience. There's only 3 books in the series. This is the last book, so I would really recommend start with Pretend for Me, then read Pitch for Me before you read Pine for Me, just because I feel like it is, you can read it as a standalone, but I feel like there's a lot of things that might not make a lot of sense if you haven't read it. And one of those being the relationship between the guys and the girls. There's group chats. There's lots of references back to things that have happened in other books and things like that. And I think it makes it a lot more fun. So in this one, we have Nisha's story. So Nisha, is kind of our resident badass in this one. And her ex-husband, who is a celebrity, he is like a big time movie star, Peyton. I don't know. It's spelled Patton, but I feel like I want to say Peyton. But anyway, so Patton comes back and he ends up buying the house across the street from her because he's there to film a movie, which it turns out he pitched this entire movie because of Troy Winters, who is the baseball player in Pitch for Me, is engaged to Nisha's twin.
Troy pants.
Yes. And so he pitched this whole idea for this movie about in working with Troy Winters to do the movie so he could get back into his ex-wife's life. And so we see why their marriage fell apart and how they're going to get their second chance romance. I really enjoyed, it's funny. Swathi does a lot of humor in there, and the group chats are always hilarious. But this one does deal with some pretty serious topics. So make sure that you check your triggers, because there are some things that might be something that you might not want to read if you have some. It talks about pregnancy loss. Sorry, I was trying to beat around the bush on it, and I'm like, you know what, she's been really upfront that this is in there. It's not a spoiler. It's a big part of their story. So yeah, but for some people that might not be something that they want to read about.
Exactly.
I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I really loved the whole series.
Okay. All right. Okay, so for my last book, let's talk about some more dragons.
Of course.
Are you excited? Of course.
I am.
Okay, so this is book number 8 in the Fire Blood Dragon series. This one is Fire in His Chaos by Ruby Dixon. This is about Rachel and Jurek. So now we're going to see a different They're at Fort Dallas. So it's a different fort than what the other one was. I might have called the other one Fort Dallas, but that's not what it was. But Rachel is, when the rift opened, she was young, because it happened 7 years prior. And immediately a dragon hurt her because they were coming through the rift, and people were dying and things were happening. So she is actually missing part of her right arm, the hand, and part of the forearm, and she has a lot of scars on her face. So she is considered ugly by all the nasty men that were left behind, because of course only the worst of society is left behind for the most part. And so she is in this program at this fort where the girls have to give up their underwear every morning, and they don't know why, but hey, they get 3 meals a day and they get a bed and they're safe. That's all they care about. But they do have to go out with a bodyguard and look for things, like go and scavenge for things. And so she's out there one day when she goes to this old theater, and she's really like loving the whole, like remembering what it was like being young and going to the movies, when she walks into a room and there's a dragon in there, and she didn't even realize it. Well, he catches her saying, he realizes it's his mate, and she's forced to go back to try to lure him back to the compound for whatever reasons, and we get their story. 4 stars. I liked it because this one just felt even more different because of the whole, having missing limbs and trying to survive in the apocalypse and being, a little bit different. So I enjoyed it. And that was my reading week.
All right.
Okay.
And that was my reading week too.
Yay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's wrap her up.
Oh, snap. It's time to wrap up the video.
Love it. Go for it. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Nope. Every time. I don't know why I keep doing this. I want to thank the people for being here too, Jessica, and not just demand that they check back, but
okay.
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 Anyway, we're excited that you were here.
Yes.
And we would love to have you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us, and sometimes Wednesdays. You definitely want to check this Wednesday, though. It is a fun video.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So thanks for watching from both of us. Yes. And we'll see you in the next video.